Well everyone, it's Tuesday afternoon here at CnG, and those of you that follow us will see the pattern that we have. Usually on Tuesday it's if we've been lucky enough to get some new arrivals, it's their first day out with us on Tuesday, because Mondays are the horse's day off. We've always kept to that. So we're still keeping to that now, even though we're slightly out of routine that what we normally are. But the horse that I'm riding, guys, he's not new and he's not for sale. So we've only concentrating on the horse who's in lead file with Kyle up front, and her name is Buttercup. She arrived with us on Sunday. She's 8 years old. Sunday was actually her birthday, and she arrived with us on her birthday Sunday evening, late evening it was, around 9 p.m. So she went straight into a stable and took straight into bed. The home that she's come from, she's actually been there since she was 6 months old. So this horse has never been for sale, guys. She's never been on the market, she's never been passed around, and obviously there's not possibly any more history to know about her that I don't already know or have accessible. So it's very difficult to find these horses, and as you may know, that one of the things that we do really try and make sure that we nail as good as we can is the horse's history, which tells you far more about a horse than what you see on our videos and what you hear from me. Obviously self-explanatory, she's out front leading, and you may see that Kyle's got his hand in his pocket. That says it all, guys. Kyle is quite relaxed. You've got to understand, he's relaxed around the horses, he's relaxed on the horses, and the horses do take to him very well. But he's not silly, he's not stupid, he's not going to be leading up in front with his hand in his pocket should he feel unsafe to do so. Now Buttercup is a big cob. As I say every time, it's very difficult to get an idea of the size when you're videoing from another horse. I think it isn't a true picture, and they always look smaller than they are. But she is measured at 15.1, and she is all cob, guys. So that's not all wither, she's all horse. Obviously you can only see the back end of it from here, but from tomorrow there will be more photos so you can see her in the flesh without a rider on. It'll give you more of an idea, but she's a nicely marked mare, obviously piebald, and as I say, she's 8 years old, just turned. Today is her first hack out. She's been in the stable with us since arriving Sunday evening. They weren't turned out yesterday. Oh, so she's straight, guys. You probably didn't notice that, but the little concrete stream she went over, sometimes we have real problems trying to not problems, but sometimes horses will take a minute or two to just have a look and then step over, because you know they're riding off-road and then they've got to go straight over the concrete. So that little things like that you take for granted really do indicate a horse. And I would say she's not a spooky horse, she's a bold horse. And bearing in mind, all the horses that come to us have never ridden around here, but she's been in the same home for her whole life, so she's not used to being anywhere else. So if ever you're going to think a horse may seem unsettled, and quite rightly so, you would do. But honestly, I've got a little video of Kyle tacking her up. It's by no means a professional video, you know, Kyle's just doing his own little thing, sorting a bridle out, everything else. But I've took the video because I couldn't just quite believe how relaxed and laid back this mare is, and very polite, but obviously ridden. She's, as you can see, she's taking the lead, and she's taking the lead nicely. So she's not sort of a dope on the rope type. She's quite a nice active horse that is enjoying her work. We're just actually riding uphill now. I don't know how if you can see that on the video, but it's very much uphill. But yeah, she's most certainly a horse that's enjoying her work. You've got the farmer up there harrowing the field as well. When we come across the road towards getting to where we are now, we had a van past us, we had a motorbike, we had a car with a trailer, and we also had a tractor. So we've also, although the lanes are a lot quieter than normal, we do still get all the usual vehicles. Hopefully you can still hear what I'm saying because it's quite open here and a little bit windy. Buttercup, in her the reason she's been sold is her rider actually is now going to college, and he's of an age now where he's not overly interested in riding the horses. That's the reason she is for sale, or was for sale. I was very, very lucky to get her, so I do appreciate that massively. In her previous home, she has mainly done lots of hacking. She's done some show jumping. She's got a good little pop on her, so I'll be looking forward to showing you all that, or Kaya will. She's been to some local shows and she's done lots of sponsored rides. She's also been to the beach, ridden in the sand, on the beach, in the sea, everything. She's good to load, she's good to travel, she's good to catch. She's not overly heavy legs. She's got a bit of feather, guys, but she's not overly heavy, but she's quite substantial in the body. She is barefoot, and the one thing that her owners did say is she's not overly keen on the farrier, as in she's only ever been barefoot, and she's fine to pick up her feet and pick her feet out and all that sort of stuff, but they said she's just not overly happy with the farrier. They tend to just stand there and give her a treat and they get the job done, no problem. So I will just obviously leave you with that information because it's very important that it gets all information from previous owners with any of the horses is important that it gets passed on. Kyle's done tacked her up and picked her feet up, not a problem, back in the stable, so I can't see you know, that's anything major, but that is something that's worth noting. So Buttercup, I'll just see if I can come. If you want, the reason she's neighing, guys, is just across those top fields there's a youngster that's been turned down, and I think it's just been separated from its mum, and it was neighing at us the whole way past, so it's obviously just calling out, and she's answered. But there you go, you can see her a bit more body on her there. And I tell you what we've also done, we've ridden past some baby goats and one had got out, so Kyle got off to rescue the baby goat, and she just stood there, never bothered, and then stood there good as gold while he remounted. Kyle, could you just go into the road a little bit so I can just get the other side of it in the camera? Right. Bearing in mind, guys, that Kyle is a tall rider. And as I say, it's very difficult to judge it from another horse. You will see better when I do the videos from the ground tomorrow. But as far as a horse's first hack out, I can honestly say she has been faultless. I mean, look at that mare. Would you think that she's only ever been in one home? And this is her first ride out with us. She's confident. Her attitude is fantastic to her work. She's just in a snaffle mouth, and Kyle's not going to have much rein aids on her. He's also not got much leg on her at all. She's very much confidently taking him, which is what I would say equates to a happy hacker. As I say, she is more than that as well. She'll jump, she's done local shows, sponsored rides, but you know, these horses, they are like gold dust. They seem to be more like that than ever at the moment. I mean, they're always difficult to find, but at the moment people are hanging on to the horses and it's virtually impossible to find. When I say impossible, guys, I'm not exaggerating. I'm spending every waking hour trying to find these horses, so believe you me, when we get one, then they are certainly worth considering. because even though, as I say, I'm looking for these horses, I do get offered horses, I do find horses regular, but if they don't fit all of our requirements, they don't come to us. So for them to fit all our for them to be here, they've obviously had to pass all of our requirements to get here. And especially a horse like her with a full history, you can't get better than that. She stood at the mounting block for Kyle to get on. She never bothered at all. She rode confidently off the yard. Absolutely good as gold. So those of you that will be asking what price she is going to be higher end, if not top end, if not the very top of the purple heart range. There'll be more info videos and everything else coming over the coming days, but please bear with me, guys, because I've got everything else to do as well as reply, hence trying to get all of this information over to you in one go. Thanks everyone, hope you're all staying safe.